Okay, good afternoon and good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar about Jamo Solutions Mobile Cloud. So I see that about everybody who signed up for the webinar has joined by now. So let's get started. So first of all, thank you for taking the time to join this call. We're very excited to be announcing Mobile Cloud to our customers and our partners today. So the goal of this webinar really is to give you a short briefing about what the offering is about from Jamo Solutions for mobile test automation using cloud capabilities. Now, before we get started, everybody is on mute in this call, but if at any point in time you have questions, please feel free to post your question in the question box, and I'll try to answer your questions as soon as possible. Similarly, if there are any issues with the audio quality, please do let me know using the questions box, and we'll try to resolve those issues as soon as possible. This webinar is also being recorded and it will be posted on our YouTube channel after this session has completed. We'll also send you an email with the link to the YouTube recording so that you can review the content of this session at your own pace later on should you want to do so. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's get started with the webinar and let's start from there. Okay. So the agenda that we have put forward today for you about this webinar is, first of all, we'll give you a quick introduction about Jamo Solutions, what Jamo Solutions is and how we position ourselves in the mobile testing space. We'll talk about the key capabilities of our cloud solution, both from a cloud perspective, from a mobile device management perspective, as well as from a test automation point of view and a mobile application lifecycle management point of view. And the bulk of this webinar will be a demo where we'll be giving you a hands-on demonstration of how our cloud product works. And then finally we'll talk about the next steps where I'll guide you through how you can get started using our cloud solution yourself. So we'll give you links to online training resources as well to the ability to request a trial on our mobile cloud should you want to give it a hands-on trial yourself. Okay, so let's talk about Jamo Solutions. Jamo Solutions is a company that specializes in testing of the mobile end user experience. So we allow you to automate your scripts that allow you to test, we allow you to automate your mobile test cases. So if you are a brand or a company or an outsourcer and you've been tasked with assuring the quality of a mobile application, Jamo Solutions is there to help you. What we allow you to do is use the existing tools that you're familiar with, such as HPQTP, Microsoft Visual Studio or Eclipse, and use those tools to write your automated test cases for mobile devices. At the same time, we now also have the ability to offer you devices in the cloud, in both a private cloud, a public cloud, as well as the on-premise cloud, so that you can focus on testing the app and that the focus or the time spent on managing devices is taken, or the burden of managing the devices is buried by Jamo Solutions and alone by you. Jamo Solutions has been around in the space for more than 5 years, so we've been able to gather a lot of key customers that have been using our products and technologies for a long time. So for example, we have various customers in the financial sector. For example, we've got AXA in Europe. We've got customers in IT, telecom and network. For example, we've got Telstra in Australia. We've got customers in retail and food. For example, Nordstrom in the United States, as well as in the industrial space, for example, energy and healthcare, where we've got Siemens Healthcare, where we've also got Air Liquide, for example. And we also have a lot of customers in transportation, such as SNCF, Conway, and Daimler, just to give you a couple of examples. Jamo Solutions also has a wide network of system integrated partners that are trained on our products and technologies, and that would be more than happy to help you with implementing some of your mobile test automation projects as well. For example, we've got partners lined up for you such as Infosys, Atos, 4S in Turkey, Pegasi in Canada, Capgemini, just to name a few of our key partners that we have all around the world. Okay, so let's talk about the key capabilities of the mobile cloud and of Jamo Solutions in general. What we allow you to do for your mobile test automation requirements is we have 3 main pillars. We have the first pillar, which is mobile device management or cloud, where we allow you to manage your devices in a cost-effective manner. We allow you to manage your devices either by setting up an on-premise cloud, where you as an organization maintain and buy the devices yourself, but we deliver you a cloud solution that allows you to connect all the devices to a central server to which the devices are connected, and then your test engineers or your developers can access those devices remotely. We also deliver you public cloud, from where you can rent a device from the cloud. So for example, if you have the need to test on a specific device, that device property is available in our public cloud, so you can just rent that device from the cloud rather than having to buy and maintain the device yourself. And then finally, we also have private cloud, where we set up a cloud hosted in the data centers of one of our partners for you. All the devices are dedicated to you or your organization, yet you do not need to manage or buy the devices yourself. Then the second pillar of the offering from Jamo Solutions is automated functional testing. This is what we've been doing for the past 5 years. What we do there is we give you a scripting tool that allows you to automate your mobile test cases. And then finally, we also have application lifecycle management integration, where we integrate with tools such as HPLM, Microsoft Visual Studio and Team Foundation Server, as well as IBRQM. And from the application lifecycle management tools, what we allow you to is manage the quality of your mobile applications. So for example, if you have a test plan with various mobile test cases, we allow you to automate the individual test cases. We allow you to replay the test cases on devices that you procure from the cloud. And then finally, we allow you to track and trace the results of your test cases on all those different devices in the application lifecycle management tools, so that you can effectively manage the quality of your application over time and across devices. So if you are tasked with giving feedback to your developers or to your customers about what the quality of their application has been over time, then our integration with application lifecycle management tools allows you to do that. And then probably another big advantage of Jamo Solutions is the wide range of supported platforms that we have. So we support all Android devices, we support all iOS devices, for example, just to give you a couple of ideas. So let's get started with an overview about our mobile device management solution, or our cloud. What our cloud does, it gives your teams access to a wide range of devices when they need it. It means that teams no longer have to look for devices. It means that you no longer have to look and walk into a room full of iOS developers or Android testers and see their desks cluttered with devices and people asking for getting access to the right device when they need it. Devices no longer get lost or misplaced. Rather, all devices are stored centrally in a secure location, and you can access the devices remotely, or you just rent the devices from the cloud. Our mobile device management solution, or our cloud solution, has been developed for both development as well as testing teams. So we've got features that will allow development teams to start using devices from our cloud, as well as features that will allow testing teams to start using devices from our cloud. Key features of our device cloud include full remote control over the device. So we allow you to fully control the device. We give you access to the home screen of the devices. We give you access to the individual applications. We also allow you, for example, to reset and reboot the devices. And we also allow you to clean the devices or wipe the data off the devices. We give you a high performance, up to 15 frames per second screen display. So the experience that you have with using one of our devices from the cloud will be almost the same experience that you have as if you were using a device locally. We allow you to deploy apps to the devices. So we've got a user interface that allows you to easily deploy apps to your devices. So uploading apps and running apps on the devices, we've made that as easy as possible as we can for you. We allow you to simulate GPS locations. We allow you to inject GPS coordinates so that if you want to test your application at different locations, we allow you to do so by injecting GPS coordinates. We allow you to manage the devices. We allow you to reset, to reboot the devices if and when needed. And for Android devices, we also give you ADB command line access, which means that anything you can do with a local device that you connect to your PC using ADB, you can also do with a cloud device that you connect to your PC using the Jamo Solutions Cloud. We also allow you to retrieve log files, for example, and retrieve other diagnostic information from the devices should you want. The devices are stored in a central and secure location, so devices are no longer lost or misplaced. And you as an organization are in control of the device. So if you want to own and manage the devices yourself, then we'd be more than happy to propose your on-premise cloud. If you want to outsource the management of the devices but still manage the devices yourself and make sure that you are the only user of those devices, then our private cloud will probably be our best offering for you. And finally, if you're okay with sharing devices with other users, and if you're using for a cost-effective manner to access those devices, then we'd invite you to have a look at our public cloud offering. And finally, if you're looking at our on-premise cloud solution, we've built a solution that is very scalable. So we allow you to connect up to 65 devices into a single server, and we also give you certified hardware on which we have tested our private cloud or our on-premise cloud solution, which ensures that you can connect as many devices as possible to a single server. For example, some of our competitors will require you to buy a new server for every 5 to 10 devices. We allow you to connect 65 devices to a single server. So that's a lot of cost savings that you're able to realize there as well. Furthermore, our on-premise cloud solution is based on standard commodity hardware, so we do not require you to procure any other additional hardware from us. You can use standard USB hardware, you can use standard servers, you can use standard devices, you can use standard USB cables, so we really allow you to reduce the cost of your on-premise or your private cloud as well. Yeah. For example, this is just a screenshot of what our on-premise cloud can look like. So here you've got a rack full of mobile devices connected to our on-premise cloud. And basically what you see here is a picture or a display of the infrastructure that our partner is using for the hosting of their public cloud. So the devices you see here are actually devices that are being used by Jamo Solutions public cloud offering. And you see that we are really able to achieve a high density of phones per racks. So you can really store up to about 200 devices into a single rack, and you would only need 4 servers to manage those devices, should you desire to do so. If you look into automated functional testing, this is M-eux Test, a product that most of you are probably already familiar with. So what we do there is we reuse proven software practices from the desktop. So we use the real object recognition approach, which gives you a very cost-effective manner for automating your test cases. We support native web as well as hybrid applications. And key features include, for example, we don't require source code access to your device. We don't require source code access to your application. We don't require you to jailbreak or root your device if you're using it with M-eux Test. And then we support most of the frameworks that you expect to be there, such as data-driven tests, record and replay, results and reporting. We extend the existing products such as HP, UFT and QTP, Microsoft Visual Studio and Eclipse. And what this allows you to do is really reuse your existing skills and infrastructure. So if you are part or if you manage a team of test engineers that's already skilled on, let's say, HP, UFT, what you can do with the products from Jamo Solutions is easily bridge their knowledge from the desktop world to mobile world so that they can get started doing test automation on mobile devices very fast. And in the end, what that gives you as a company is a higher return on investment. Okay. And then finally, application lifecycle management. What we allow you to do on the application lifecycle management side is we allow you to link your test cases. You can link your test cases to the automation that you have written using Jamo Solutions, and then we integrate with the tools such as Quality Center, ALM from HP, Microsoft Test Manager and Team Foundation Server from Microsoft, and RQM from IBM. Okay, and then finally, the last slide before I will start the demo. We support a wide range of mobile operating systems. For example, Android we support 1.5 up to 4.4, iOS we support 4.2 up to 7.1. We support Windows 8, Windows Phone, Windows Mobile, Windows Compact Embedded. So we've really got you covered on all the mobile platforms that we support for you. Okay. If you look at the advantage of Jamo Solutions compared to, for example, Perfecto Mobile, Device, Keynote Anywhere or Eggplan, What we believe is that Jamo Solutions, we deliver integration with HP, UFT, Eclipse, and Visual Studio. We offer full integrations with those products. We offer object recognition, which is something that most of the other vendors don't provide. We offer you enterprise-level cloud, so cloud that's really scalable and allows you to implement a cost-effective solution for up to hundreds of devices. And we offer you that at a low cost point. So we believe we're about the only company in the world that's able to provide you all those elements into a single package. So that's why we believe it's really worthwhile for you to have a look into our mobile cloud solution and see how you can use that in your mobile testing strategies. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started with the demo. And I'll give you a quick demonstration where I'll show you how you can use the cloud from Jamo Solutions. So let me close the PowerPoint presentation. And what I'll do first is I'll open Remote Test Kit, which is the interface to our public cloud. So what I'm displaying on my screen right now is Remote Test Kit. And what you will see is that on the top level of, on the top panel, on the upper half of my screen, you see the full list of devices that are available in the public cloud from Jamo Solutions. At this point in time, we actually have more than 200 devices available in our cloud, and you could use any of those devices. And in the lower panel of my screen, what you can see is the devices that I have currently allocated or rented. And actually the way our public cloud works is it's on a rental basis, so it currently does not use a booking process, but it uses a rental basis. So I can just select any device. So for example, let's say that I want to rent the Galaxy S4 in English on the Verizon wireless network. I can just select that device. I can hit the rent button. And I select for how long I want to rent that device. So for example, for the purpose of this demo, I will rent the Galaxy S4 for about 30 minutes. I'll hit the rent button, and at that point in time, the device will be available for me to use from my local PC. Now, should I need the device for more than 30 minutes, what I can do next is I can extend the rental process. So I can go back to the list of rented devices, I can select my device, and I click the extend button, and then I'll be given the ability to extend the period of time during which I will be using this device. Now, we support, like I mentioned, we support both iOS and Android devices. So for example, in this case, I had rented previously an iOS device running iOS 7 and an Android device running Android 4.4. So what I can do with Jamo Cloud is I can just interact with those devices using my mouse as if the devices were connected locally. So for example, let's say that on this iOS device I want to open Safari. The only thing I need to do is I click on the Safari icon. Safari will open on the browser. I can use, for example, my keyboard to interact with the browser and type an address. So let's say I want to go to this jamosolutions.com website. I can do that. I hit the go button, and my browser will navigate to the Jamo Solutions website. So from a manual testing point of view, for example, this really gives you easy access to a lot of different devices and gives you the ability to interact with those devices remotely. So if you quickly want to do a manual verification of your app on a number of devices, all you need to do is rent that device, and then you can start interacting with that device. Now we've got a lot of device features which will make it easier for you to start testing your application. For example, if I want to install an application, I can just hit the install application button, and then a screen will pop up from where, for example, I can browse to my IPA. I could select the IPA or the application file that I want to install on my device, and then the system will automatically deploy and launch the application on the device that I have selected. Similarly, if I want to take screenshots, if I want to delete all applications and all data, for example, when I stop using the device, perhaps I want to delete all application data, I can do so. Should I want to reboot the device, I have the ability to do so as well. And if I want to rotate the screen, I could do that as well, straight from the menu. I can also toggle Wi-Fi, for example. So if I want to disable Wi-Fi connections on the device and I want to start testing over a 3G network, I can disable Wi-Fi. If I want to test over a faster network, I could also enable Wi-Fi. So we give you a lot of control, and we give you a lot of remote management capabilities over the device as well. As you can see, we also have WebDriver support. So if you want to use our devices with Selenium, if you want to run your Selenium test cases on mobile devices, we've also got you covered for there on that. Okay. So now let's switch, for example, to the Android device. And then one of the cool features that we have with Android is that we also have ADT or ADB support. So I can enable ADB support for this device. And then what will happen is that if I open a command line, and let me bring that to the screen, and I type ADB devices, you will see that the device that I have rented from the cloud, which was an HTC 1 and 8, appears as if it were a local device connected locally in ADB. So in that scenario, if I want to connect to multiple devices at the same time, or if I have other testing tools such as Selenium that are able to talk to my device over ADB, if I have scripts that integrate with ADB, it means I can just seamlessly reuse all my scripts and all my existing testing tools on those devices, because we are able to bridge the device to your local PC using that ADB integration. Okay. And I see a couple of questions coming in, so let me try to answer that as well. There's a question, does the public cloud have Windows Phone and BlackBerry devices? Not at this point. But if you're using the on-premise cloud, then yes, you can plug in your own devices that UX Test supports. So there we actually have the on-premise cloud with the mobile device management solution. We also have the what we call the One Connector, and that basically allows you to set up your own private mobile app that covers both iOS, Android, as well as Windows Phone and Windows Mobile devices, for example. So there we give you full access to all the devices that UX Test supports from within your own private lab. Okay. And let's see. How many devices are supported on the public cloud? There was another question that came in. On our public cloud, right now we have over 200 devices that are connected to the public cloud. I can send you the full list of devices as a follow-up. But on the public cloud currently, we have more than 200 different device models that are available for you. Having said that, we are constantly updating the device list in our public cloud. And similarly, if we have customers that come with questions for specific devices, we can also add support for new devices to our public cloud should you want to have that device, that support for that device in our public cloud. It's also something that we can definitely get set up with you. Okay. If you look at our product, another question that came in, if you look at our product compared with Device Anywhere, I think one of the big differences that we have with Device Anywhere or with Keynote's Device Anywhere is, first of all, if you use Device Anywhere, it's still a hardware-based solution. So they either have to physically break the device or they connect a custom component to the device, whereas the product from Jamo Solutions is purely software-based. So we do not need to change or modify the device in any way. Just take the standard device that you take from any consumer shop. You can buy the device and you can connect it to our on-premise cloud, for example. And it's also the same devices that we have in our public cloud. So, for example, a big difference with Device Anywhere probably would be the technology that we use to connect the devices to the servers. And that is something that will translate in a reduced cost, especially if you're looking at setting up an on-premise cloud. We're probably able to provide you an on-premise cloud at a price point that's much lower than, for example, Device Anywhere. Similarly, if you look at integration with QTP, we believe that our integration with the object repository and the scripting tools from HP is better than the support that you will get from Device Anywhere. If you look at another question that came in, if you look at the number of users that can connect to our on-premise cloud, so like I mentioned in the previous slide, our on-premise cloud is licensed on the number of connected devices. So if you buy remote test kit 14, then you can connect 14 devices to your server, and then we will not limit the number of users that can connect to that server. So if people are doing manual testing, or if they're using, for example, Selenium, anyone can connect to our on-premise cloud. Having said that, of course, no more than 14 people could actually make use of the on-premise cloud at the same time, because you will only be able to connect 14 devices to that on-premise cloud. But if you buy our Enterprise Edition, the Unlimited Edition, there will be no restrictions at all. And similarly, if you want to use M-eux Test with that, we also have some very competitive licensing models that allow you to buy both our on-premise cloud solution as well as M-eux Test, for example, so that you can focus on testing your apps and you don't need to worry about licensing anymore. Okay, then let me give you a quick overview of what our backend interface looks like. So basically what I've demonstrated until now is what the end user would see. So it's our standard interface for end users. Of course, we've also got a web admin or administration console that allows you to manage the devices that you have connected to your on-premise cloud. What I'm showing now is the admin console for an on-premise cloud solution that we have deployed at Jamo Solutions internally. So for example, what you can see here is the list of all devices that are connected locally. You can see that some of the devices are offline, some have been rented out by a couple of our employees, and other ones are available. So this console already gives me a first overview of all the devices that are connected to our on-premise cloud, and then the status of those devices. Similarly, if I click on the particular device, I can look into the status of that device. So what I can do is I can get a list of the rental history, so I can see who used which device when. So if you're looking at cross-charging within your organization, for example, we track which user uses the device. So you could also use that for cross-charging goals. Similarly, we have a lot of options. We allow you to fetch all the logs from the device. So you can remotely see what the status of the device is if something went wrong. You can make a device visible or invisible. You could reboot the device. You could reinitialize the device. So you can actually remotely manage your on-premise cloud or your private lab of devices as well. We also allow you to manage all the different users. So for example, here you have the user list of Jamo Solutions. So you can see all the users that have been provisioned with accounts for Jamo Solutions, when they registered, when they last used a specific device. And from here I can also go into the details of a user. So I can reset their password. I can also see a list, for example, of the devices that that particular user used in the past. So our admin console basically allows you to manage your private cloud as you would expect to be able to do it. So you can manage devices and users, and then users can manage their own applications by uploading the applications directly to the devices. And then finally, what I also want to show you in this webinar is the integration between our on-premise cloud and M-eux Test, and our integration with the tooling from for example, HP. So let me give you an example of how that works. So in this case, let me pop up HPUFT, and let me pop up the device manager from Jamo Solutions. So as some of you on the call perhaps already know, the way that M-eux Test from Jamo Solutions works is we've got a central tool which we call the device manager, which allows you to manage the devices or connect the devices on which you want to run your test automation scripts, connect them to your testing tools like HPUFT, Microsoft Visual Studio, and Eclipse. And then we've got our plugin integration with testing tools such as HPUFT. And actually the great thing that we can announce with our on-premise cloud or public cloud is that in that sense nothing has changed. So our integration with HPUFT, our integration with Visual Studio, and our integration with Eclipse is exactly the same with devices that you procure from the cloud as it was with devices that you have locally. So for example, in this case, let me give you an example of how I can record and replay a test case on UFT. So let me maybe delete all the steps that I have in this test case. Okay. And if from within HP UFT I click on the record button, what will happen is that UFT will go into record mode. Let me bring it back to the screen, and then I can start interacting. With my device. And for example, if I interact with my device using the remote device screen, and I start toggling those buttons, what you will see is that within HP UFT, a line of code or an action will be generated for every action that I have executed on the mobile device. So the recording will run transparently, just as it ran on the device that was connected locally. And you can see that the 3 actions that I executed on the mobile device have also been recorded as a test script within HP UFT. And then if I want to replay the script, again, the integration with UFT is the same. So I can just click on the run button. I hit run again. I confirm that I really want to execute the script. And what you will see on the mobile devices, you will see the toggles change as HP UFT is executing the script on my mobile device. And in this case, the script executed correctly. And then the results came back where basically HP UFT is telling me that all the actions, all the different actions, let me navigate down to that, all the different actions have been executed correctly on my mobile device. So all the integration that you had from here with M-eux test within HP UFT, within HP ALM, within HP Quality Center, it is exactly the same as you have been using it with mobile devices. What's more is that within HP UFT, we are also, it's in preview, and customers that want to have access to it can get access to it. But from within HP UFT or Visual Studio or Eclipse, what we allow you to do is within your test scripts, we also allow you to rent devices. So if you have a script that you would like to loop over 10 different devices, basically you can write a script that rents the device from our cloud, executes those test cases, rents the next device from our cloud, executes your test cases, and so on and so forth. So really it gives you the ability to have one unattended script that gives you the full ability to both rent devices and execute scripts. For customers that are using, for example, Jenkins, we also have an API for our cloud. And from there we also integrate through that API with tools such as Jenkins. So if you have a build script where you build your app and you want to deploy the app to a device on our cloud and then execute some of the test cases, there as well we are able to offer an API for where basically you can automate the full cycle. So every time a new version of your application is ready, what you can do is you can deploy that application to a device and automatically start testing. Okay. So let me check if there are any additional questions that have shown up. It appears not, because I answered most of the questions, so that's great. So then let's continue with the PowerPoint slide. And just give me one moment while I bring that up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we've had the demo. So I think to conclude this webinar, I'll of course leave time for Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, I think now would be a great time to start typing them into the text boxes. But basically, as a next step, we'd be more than happy for you to start trying our solution. So what you can do is you can go to our website, jamosolutions.com. You can go to our website, jamosolutions.com, and you can request a trial for both M-eux Test, our test automation platform, as our on-premise cloud. You can download everything from our website. We've got documentation available in our member area, and if you're downloading M-eux Test, we can also make sure that send us your log ID so we can issue you a trial key. Trial accounts for our public cloud are typically provisioned in 1 to 2 days. Okay. So this would be a great time for any additional questions. If you have questions, please feel free to type them into the questions window, and I'll take them from there. So let's see. There was a question about about our Jenkins plugin. So yes, we do have a plugin for Jenkins that allows you to install applications on devices in the cloud, and also invoke tests on devices in both the public and the private cloud. So if you want to automate the end-to-end process there, we have standard Jenkins plugins or scripts available for you that will allow you to automate the end-to-end process. And I'd be more than happy to follow up with you in more detail on that one. Let's see, there was a question about mobile device management scenarios. So see if settings and policies have been applied correctly on the device. So that is a more complex scenario. It can be done. So for example, if you're looking especially at Android devices, for example, what we have done is we have a customer in the Netherlands that has a technology that's based on, I think it was Avaria from SAP, which is a mobile device management solution. And we actually allow you to automate test cases around policies that have been applied on devices and things like. So if you've got any follow-up questions on that, I'd be more than happy to address them. It is a special scenario because we need to integrate. We normally do test automation at the application level, but we can also do test automation at the operating system level, at least within Android. So which versions of Android, iOS, and Windows are supported by the cloud? The best way to answer that question is just by showing. So for example, on iOS, what we support on the cloud is iOS 6 and 7. So those are 5, 6, and 7. So we support iOS 5, we support iOS 6, and we support iOS 7. So those are the most recent versions of iOS that we support there. MX test actually already has support for iOS 8, and we will bring out a release soon that will allow you to start testing your applications on iOS 8 as well. On Android, what we support is we support Android 2.3.3 and above. So we support all versions from Android starting at 2.3, and we go all the way up to Android 4.4.2, which is the latest version of Android that is currently commercially available. Let's see, there was a question about eventing, if you can react on events that are sent from a server to the device. So what we allow you to do is, if you are sure that an event is coming and the event is showing up in the user interface, in that scenario, what we allow you to do is we allow you to wait for that notification in the user interface to appear and then react on it. And if you want to send a notification back to the server, if your server has an API that allows us to send a notification to your server, for example, that the event has been received properly, in that case, we would be able to capture that event and send it back. If it's an event that you receive at the application level, we do user interface-based testing. We don't necessarily do application level testing or code level testing. So if it's code level events that you're looking for, then perhaps not. But if the event displays or visualizes at the user interface, then we can definitely help you with that. Okay. Yes. Oh, and then a great question. Thank you for asking. There was a question about advanced gestures like pinching and zoom, and I'm very glad that came up because I actually did not mention it, but the answer is yes. We do support advanced gestures like pinching and zooming, and the way we do that is with a combination of the keyboard and mouse. So for example, if I want to do pinching, I can click the Alt key on my keyboard, and then I can use the mouse, and then I can simulate pinching and zooming just by interacting with the keyboard and the mouse on the mobile device itself. So we absolutely do support those gestures on mobile devices as well. Okay, and I see more questions are coming in. So let's go to the next one. So there's a question if there's the possibility to test your resource consumption on the device. For example, battery draining. The answer is yes. So we deploy an agent on the device. That agent has access to the performance counters of the device. So for example, what we allow you to measure is the battery level, that is how much battery is remaining on the device. So from there, for example, if you want to run your application and then see how much battery has been consumed between the start and the end of your test run, we are able to capture those performance metrics from the device itself. Okay, and then there was a question, does the app instrumentation process for test automation change in any way for the cloud-based devices? So there the answer is no. The process is exactly the same for cloud-based devices as well as for devices that you are using locally. So what we do in most cases is we automate apps and we inject our automation library into the app itself. So that remains the same for devices that are connected to your PC locally or through Wi-Fi, as well as devices that are in our cloud. So actually, I think except for Perfecto Mobile, I think about all vendors are using the exact same process, and that has not changed. And we also believe that by injecting our automation library into your application, that's the way that we are able to do full automation of your application. So that's not a process that we expect to change in the near future. Okay, so if that was the last question, then I think what's left for me to do is thank all of you for attending this webinar. We're getting some great feedback on our cloud announcement, and we'd be more than happy to onboard you on our cloud platform as well. If you're interested in perhaps a more hands-on demo for your organization, let us know by emailing us at info@jamosolutions.com or emailing me directly. You can equally request a trial version from our website, jamosolutions.com. We'd be more than happy to guide you through an evaluation of our cloud solution. I think especially, I know I have some people that are based in India, for example, in this call. For example, if you are based in India, something that you absolutely want to take away is that our public cloud has an amazingly fast response time compared to some of the other public clouds out there. So we've got great feedback from people using our public cloud in locations such as India because of the responsiveness. So we really want you to try it out. Go to jamosolutions.com, request a trial, or